You're listening to the Telltale Channel. In this podcast, Trump supporters literally think he's God. They just keep coming out of the woodwork. It's honestly impressive how he keeps them isolated in these little bubbles. Pastor Robin Bullock thinks scientists sacrificed a human to Hurricane Milton, which is what made it powerful. Really, this guy needs help desperately. Pastor Shane Vaughn is convinced the vaccine is fake. In fact, it isn't just the COVID vaccine. He's obsessed with all vaccines, even for the flu. He's apparently created an app to make it easier to evade vaccination. Also, check out my book, owenmorgan.com. You can find it on Amazon. Was Hitler an Atheist? Was Hitler an Atheist? On Amazon, Audible, and all over the place. I put so much time and effort into that book, it's ridiculous. I spent 6 months researching for this, reading every material I could get my hands on, including stuff that's out of print, stuff that I had to pay hundreds of dollars to access. Really. I mean, real rare materials. Pictures that you will not find anywhere except for my book and now on my website. And I posted a couple of those pictures on Reddit, so you'll find them on Reddit, posted by me. Yeah, owenmorgan.com. In the menu, you'll find extras. Was Hitler an Atheist? You just click that and look through all the pictures that I posted in the book. Really fascinating stuff, and all of my sources too. Anyway, give that a look. All right, let me bring in my sister here. Hang on. Let's see.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me? Yes, everyone can hear you. Perfect. I think we were going to be talking about just general family things. Is that right? Is that what we were going to talk about? Is there anything specific?
Yeah. No, you and I were talking the other day on text message about some aspects of our background from before you were born that filled in some gaps for you.
Yeah. So I was under the impression that, all right, I'm going to try to use fake names because when I was, every time I talk about this stuff, I always use fake names because I don't want anything to come down on anybody. And, if somebody specific asked me, like one of our brothers, to not talk about any of their stuff, no matter what, even with a fake name, I wouldn't. But nobody said anything. Yeah. So anyway, I've been calling Mom Jenny. And, I guess, Jenny Young and and Chick, and Chuck Young, Jenny and Chuck Young, yeah. So there were those people. I was under the impression that Mom was brought into the religion by Jenny and Chuck Young, but apparently not. So just some background for the audience. My mom, she got separated from my dad, right? And because there was a lot of abuse and stuff there. And you were already born, right? You and our brother, who I will call Jeff.
I think you called him Jeff in your book.
Okay, yeah. Jeff. Wow. I could gravitate to Jeff. Okay. Anyway, so Jeff and you were already born by the time Mom and Dad were separated, right?
Correct. So the way that worked out is they were separated, going through a divorce at the time. I was 2.
And they weren't Jehovah's Witnesses, so that you guys celebrated Christmas at the time, birthdays, right?
That's crazy. My last Christmas I was 3 years old, so I was born in 77, 80. So 80, 81 was my last Christmas before we left, and I started celebrating again.
Do you remember your first Christmas, out of curiosity?
I don't remember any Christmas except for that third Christmas.
Oh, okay. So you remember Christmases a little bit then.
So yeah, I remember the last Christmas when I was 3 years old. So that would have been 1980. I was born in November of 77. So I think it was 1980, possibly even 1981. But prior to that point, I also remember various friends that Mom would hang out with. And 2 of them were, I can't come up with a fake name. David and Kathy. I'll leave off the last name.
David and Kathy, that works. Their last name's super unique, so we'll just go with common first names.
Correct. So Mom, I don't think she drove a bus for one of the local school districts with Kathy, and that's how they met.
That's cool.
And Mom had done that when Lance was a little baby toddler as well, and we would go on some runs. But anyway, so she met Kathy driving bus, and they started studying. I mean, you know how it is. I say you know how it is. You personally, yes, know that is. Kathy would preach to mom about her beliefs and the witnesses' beliefs and the Bible and this and that, and mom gravitated to it. Mom started studying a little bit with Kathy, and Kathy's husband David would come over to the apartment and he'd fix things, or they'd visit, or whatever, and it was all by all expectations, it was very wholesome and proper. There wasn't anything weird going on. Well, at some point, David and Kathy were going through some shit, I guess, and they Kathy kind of ended up kind of pushing mom and David together alone when she shouldn't have.
Ooh, that's super weird.
Yeah, that's my understanding of it, because like I said, I grew up with this experience, and so mom's talking about it over time was not whatever she was saying about it, I was hearing it,
right. Oh God.
Yeah, so in that time, David and Kathy had problems. Mom and David kind of had a little thing, and David ended up disfellowshipped. They ended up divorced.
David and Kathy did.
Say again?
David and Kathy were divorced, you say?
Yes, correct, yeah, correct. Okay. So David and Kathy were divorced. Obviously, that caused a big upheaval in the congregation. Mom ended up moving to another town where I think David and Kathy set it up for mom to start studying with Jenny and Chuck or something like that. Somehow she got connected with them. And so,
interesting.
Yep. So totally different congregation. David and Kathy over the years have been in and out of the organization. I don't know. I don't keep up with them, but mom is currently, or was, in a congregation with some family members of theirs.
Wow, that's interesting. With David and Kathy, you mean? Family of them?
Yeah, with
that's gotta
family
be awkward.
members of David. Yeah, I think it is, yeah, but it doesn't. It's never come up with mom, not in years, other than, oh yeah, so and so was at the Kingdom Hall.
Okay, that's really interesting. So I'm gonna have to release a second edition of my book in that case. I thought that Chuck and Jenny knocked on her door.
Nope.
That's super interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, Jenny and Chuck are definitely the ones that, I guess, brought them into the truth.
Yeah, you're calling it the truth there. Catch yourself.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, that's interesting. So they brought her to it, and it was not long before she told Dad to come in also, right, to join the religion with her.
She has told me that she told Dad, you need to study the Bible and become a witness, or you're never going to see the kids again.
She told me the same story. That's crazy. That's a crazy story to tell, right?
Yeah, and honestly, right. I think in retrospect, if we brought it up to her now, I think she would be like, yeah, that's a little bit rough.
Yeah, absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy pants.
So yeah, I guess she eventually joined the religion. It probably took her a year or two to join, I imagine, right?
Yeah, she got baptized. Let me think. She and Dad had to get married before they got baptized. So I was remarried, correct, because they married each other, divorced, and married each other again. That's not crazy at all.
Right. Bad idea.
Yeah. And there wasn't a very large gap from divorce to remarriage. I don't know how long it was, but it was pretty short. But yeah, so I was 4 years old when they got married on January 8th, which is also Elvis's birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And they incidentally, they shared an anniversary with Jenny and Chuck's son and his wife.
So shared an anniversary with Jenny and Chuck's son? Oh, so we're talking about the same, the family friends.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yes. But oh God, you don't even name these people in your book. It's not the family you're thinking of. It's the older brother.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we can probably use first names because first names are pretty common.
They're not.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you can text it to me if you. Oh, I see it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, them. And
Are
actually, their
Youngs?
son is. Yes, they're also Youngs. And they have kind of it seems like a big family. We grew up with two of their sons, all of
Mm.
their sons are out. I don't think they have any children in.
Oh, good.
But we grew up with two of their sons, although I remember one that was immediately older, so the younger three.
Mm.
But the very youngest one, you really looked up to a lot as a kid, and he's out, and he and I are in touch on Facebook.
Oh, no.
He's super.
Wait, we're talking about Shane?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I vaguely
Yeah.
remember. I don't remember face, but I do remember like a name and stuff, you know. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's good news.
He listens to you. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
no
really
way.
cool.
Maybe he'll hear this.
Yeah. You're right. Hi, Shane.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, he's cool people.
Yeah.
And in fact, looking back, like there are a lot of people that I grew up with before you were born that are out, and I'm still in touch with.
Mm. That's
And
crazy.
I'm so one of my tattoos, my cupcake tattoo was done by one of them, and it's just I'm so excited about it. I'm so proud of these people for getting out when they did, whether it was
Mhm.
by choice or by force. I'm really glad that they're out. I'm glad that they have seen the truth about the truth. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad that we do too. It's really nice to be on the other side of all that.
Yeah, absolutely is. Like, don't even realize what it does to you until you're outside and
Yeah,
experience real life for the first time, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely
And
nuts.
being in for nearly 30 years like I was, I'll be 47 in a couple of weeks, and there is still stuff that like real life stuff that I experience, and I'm like, oh wait, what?
Right.
That like stuff that I didn't know or didn't realize. And I can't think of anything like off the top of my head right now, but yeah, it's very strange. And I can't chalk it all up to being neurodivergent, autistic, or anything like that. A lot of
Yeah.
it is because of what we were raised with, and sheltered from so drastically.
100%. Yeah, I know that like I didn't know what to do for Christmas. I didn't know how Christmas is supposed to operate. I mean, when do you open the
Mhm.
presents? Who brings the stockings?
Oh my
Just
God,
the family,
yes.
you know? Like you don't realize what things you don't realize until you're in the
Yeah,
position. You know, it's crazy.
yeah, yeah. I just a few years ago, there's a couple that are also coworkers at the company that I work for,
Mm.
and we had been pretty friendly a few years ago. And one of the questions I was texting her was, "How do I decorate a Christmas tree?"
Right.
And she laughed because she was like, "Oh my God, you poor thing." And
Yeah.
she's giving me all the tips, all the way that her family has decorated over the years. And I didn't know this, but you don't have to decorate the back side of the Christmas tree.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Wow. Okay.
I
This is
do
news to me.
anyway because why not?
Yeah.
That's half the fun for me. But it was eye-opening to realize
Yeah.
that I don't have to decorate the back half of the tree.
And also,
Um,
it's other little things like that too. Like, when do you decorate the tree? Because different families have different traditions. You know, like my wife's family, they decorate it all together on, like, I don't know, October 31st or whatever, like the day after Halloween, whenever that is, November
I
1st.
love that.
It's like a
I
big
love that.
tradition, you know, and
Yeah.
making cookies and stuff. We don't have any of those traditions, you know.
Because of making a cookie tradition. Yeah, I'm like, hey kids, let's go bake. And it's like July 3rd or something, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. They well, her family, they make a big thing of it. So they usually have like a Christmas um get together no matter where they are. They're going to be in New York City this year with us, but we went to
Oh, I love
Nebraska
it.
last time. Yeah. So anyway,
Oh, that's
we all get together and they make the dough and they get the sprinkles and all that, and they make like a billion cookies, like so many it's too many, and people all bring them home from the party, you know.
oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it's like a
Wow,
tradition. It's pretty cool.
I love that.
Little traditions that we don't have, you know. I wonder what
Yeah.
mom and dad's traditions were before they left the religion. I'm sorry, before they
Okay.
joined the religion.
We didn't have any. I was too young. I was 3,
Mm.
but we didn't do anything. We went to grandma and grandpa's house.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Like
yeah, and
mom's
actually
parents?
yeah, mom's parents. We did that all the time. Every year we would go, and it wasn't for Christmas, quote unquote. Mom would take us
Right.
after everybody had the meal or something. Um, and actually, that's not quite accurate. For years, she would take us all to grandma and grandpa's on the holiday because that's when everybody's getting together. And
Right.
that was her reasoning, that was her logic. Somewhere in my teen years, after she had processed through the false memory syndrome that she had been
Yeah.
dealing with, which is a whole nother thing. And I don't know about you guys or anybody else out there, but I have nothing but compassion for mom about
Totally.
that.
100%. Yeah. I've only mentioned it in
Mhm.
passing, but I'll mention it again and you can correct me if I'm wrong and we'll just move on
Okay.
in a second. But go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah. So after all of that episode during my teen years,
Mhm.
um, we would then we started going to grandma and grandpa's again at the holidays, but only in the afternoon, like after 2, after
Mm,
the meal had basically been served, so that she felt like it wasn't really celebrating the holiday, and we
okay.
still got to see everybody.
Okay. Well, that's something. And how old were you when that stopped, or did that just continue on? Because sometimes she did
Um,
things like that, just continue on.
like it kind of continued on until you guys moved to West Virginia.
Hmm. Interesting. Now,
Yep.
regarding the false memory thing,
Yep.
I know very little about it, so I'm just going to keep it super short and vague. But I understand that like she started having all these memories because of this woman in the congregation,
Yes.
Sandy, told her she's going to help her like uncover lost memories, like a
Yes.
psychologist or something, and they were all
Yes.
fake. And it was a bunch of stuff about like grandpa like hurting people, like murdering people and taking
Violent.
advantage of
Yeah.
stuff. And like
Yep.
it got so real that the police showed up to his house to
Police were
search.
involved. Yeah, I don't remember if they searched, but
Oh,
um, they they and you know what? Honestly, I don't even remember if they showed up
oh,
for anything. I don't have that exact detail, but they did come to our house and interviewed mom.
wow.
And yeah, and we were on strict instruction at school that we do not give our phone number out to anyone.
Yeah.
Most especially like teachers in the middle of class would ask me because oh my God, I hated school. I love learning, but I hated school. It was a terrible environment for
Right.
an undiagnosed autistic kid.
Yeah.
It's just BS. But anyway, fully support our teachers. I know their hands are tied on a lot of shit, but
Yeah.
um, so I had a teacher who wanted our phone number and I wouldn't give it to her, and I actually got written up and sent down to the principal's office.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
stupid. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because at the time, that principal of the high school that I attended had been my kindergarten principal as well. So I felt very comfortable with him, but I also
Hmm.
walking in felt like a 5-year-old kid again.
Yeah. I mean, you should definitely not push a kid like that. And you should, can't they get the phone number from their logs or whatever, from the,
Yeah,
their
yeah,
documents or
our
whatever?
phone
Like,
number was yeah.
that's
Yeah,
really
our phone number
stupid.
was available. She could have gotten it from anybody else. But that was also pretty standard at the time for teachers to just ask for your phone number so that they can call home and
Hmm.
talk to mom and dad. Quite honestly, I don't hate that. I think teachers should feel the freedom to call mom and dad
Yeah,
and be like,
sure.
"Hey, your kid's being a
Totally.
jackass,"
Yeah.
or your kid needs extra help, you know. Um, but anyway, yeah, so I wasn't allowed to give out our phone number. I did
Damn.
not see our grandparents for like 2 or 3 years. And one time, in fact, I was hanging around with one of the girls from the local congregation. She lived in the same town that our grandparents did. And we went to see a movie. We went to see Cool Runnings while it was still in theaters, if
Hmm.
that must tell anybody how old I am there. I still love that movie.
Vaguely
Big,
remember hearing about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the lead actor Doug when I was a teenager. I just thought he was the funniest guy in the world. Anyway, so the girl and I are standing outside the theater waiting and for her parents to pick us up, and two young men come walking up there around our age, and I look and I realize it's our cousin Michael.
Oh, really? Okay.
He didn't recognize me.
Because you hadn't seen him in so long, I guess.
Yep. Yep. And he
Wow.
and I grew up like besties. We grew up like siblings. Grandma was
Yeah.
always watching both of us. We were over at Grandma and Grandpa's house every weekend, practically my entire life. And so when this happened, it changed everyone's world. It changed
Yeah.
everyone's reality. Um, and very unfortunately for the worst. And
Yeah.
all because this Looney Tune woman in the Kingdom Hall was going through her own personal mental health trauma and combined with satanic panic
Yeah.
managed to convince my mother that my grandfather had done heinous acts and killed people, and not
God,
one stitch of it was true.
that is
Not one stitch.
insane, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess
And
nobody faced any legal repercussions in the end, right?
correct. Correct. Nothing was found. And it makes me so sad for our grandpa
Yeah,
and
totally.
grandma for that, everybody involved, but like
Yeah.
I I just never could wrap my head around the fact that my grandpa could have been capable of anything like that because
Yeah.
no. No.
Yeah,
Have you met him?
100%.
No.
Right, absolutely.
um
He's just an honest guy that just like he fought in the Korean War, I think, and he just like came home, built a house with his dad, and lived in it for like 50 something years, right? Like he's just a
yeah,
normal
yeah.
person.
Raised 87 kids,
Yeah,
and two grandkids. Come
yeah, yeah.
on. He's a good
Absolutely
guy.
nuts. Yeah. So anyway,
And
from my understanding, after the false memory stuff, Grandma and Grandpa pretty much forgave Mom nearly immediately, right? They did a
yeah,
college class on how memory works and
yes,
stuff, and that was pretty
yes.
close. That's nice. That's honorable of them. I figure.
It is. It really is. And I know that it was hard for mom's siblings also,
Mm,
but I'm
yeah.
I'm also of the understanding that everyone um understands that this wasn't really, it- they get that it wasn't on purpose and stuff like that,
Yeah, it wasn't Mom's fault. It seems to me. Yeah, 100%.
yeah, yeah. And our aunt that had been in and left, I don't remember what name you used for her, but the one with the boys, they had been in and
Usually,
left.
yeah, yeah.
She was
Kathy, I think.
very yeah, Kathy. She was very supportive of grandma and grandpa through it, but also from my recollection, she was also supportive of mom.
Wow.
Um, yeah, everybody was like, look, some shit is squirrely here and it's got
Yeah.
to get figured out, and eventually it will. It was a challenge, I'm quite sure, for
Yeah,
them.
no doubt, absolutely. And this is an interesting thing to me. Like they all came around and managed to forgive Mom, and I believe that that's the right thing to do. But when you
Yeah,
think about it, like all of our aunts and uncles have different moral perspectives on the world. Like some are Republicans, some are Democrats, and some are left and right, further in either direction, or whatever. But
yeah,
they all
yeah,
came to the same moral conclusion, and that kind of tells me that like pretty much everybody in the United States has the same moral foundation as everybody else. They're just working from a different set of like base facts. That's what it seems to me anyway. I don't know. I thought it was
I
interesting.
would agree. I would agree. I see a similar mindset with me and my ex-husband when it comes to the kids.
Oh yeah, because
Um,
he's a little off the rails, right, with being a Republican or whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, that but I
The
also
way
know
you
that
say that tells me it's a little more than just off the rails.
it drives me nuts, really. And his parenting style is very, very different from mine.
Yeah.
I know he loves the kids. I know his goal is for the best outcome possible for
Yeah.
them. But we are coming at it from two different angles.
Wow.
And I just gotta when we do have an issue, I just keep reminding, dude, it's okay. We're coming at it from different sides. We both want the same goal, the best thing for the kids. And I think that that's really important. It's important and it matters to the kids, and they appreciate it. They notice it.
Yeah, what a mess. And I understand that our brother Lance is also a little off the rails in the same way, right?
Yeah, yeah,
They're kind of like Trump's
yeah.
supporting type of deal,
Oh man,
you think?
yeah,
It's pretty bad.
yeah. Him
I
and
wonder if Lance is a full-blown avowed Trump supporter now or if he's just like going down
yes,
that road. He is?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
He
heartbreaking,
and
man.
yeah, he and my ex.
Oh my God, dude. That's so sad.
They are convinced that, well, I don't know about the ex, but Lance, he's very supportive as far as doing what's best for the family. He's
Hmm.
often encouraging me to stock up on dry goods and staple
Okay.
foods. And thank
Uh,
you for the concern. I think I'll be all right, but thank you. And you
yeah.
know what? I take the information and I file it away just in case I do need that someday.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not interested in a Mad Max kind of lifestyle, and I'm
Yeah,
afraid that
exactly.
if Trump wins, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
So
I
I don't want to.
figure I agree. Like society's not going to collapse no matter what. Even in well, it's not going to get this bad. Like I know that I think I've mentioned that I wrote a book about Germany in World War II, right? And the church and all that. Did I
Yeah,
tell you about it?
yeah,
The book is
Yes.
done, by the way. It hasn't released yet, but I'll
Okay.
send you a copy if you're interested. Anyway,
Yes.
um,
Duh.
yeah, okay.
Autograph this one. Autograph this one.
Okay, I'll do that. This one's a lot shorter than the other. It's only 200 pages and
Okay.
it's got a lot of pictures in it. So anyway,
Oh, cool.
so as I was saying, even in Germany in World War II, society did not collapse. It's not going to
No.
collapse no matter what. We will still be able to get food down at the store and everything else. There will always be an infrastructure, always, in my opinion. However, being in Manhattan, if society does collapse, there's nothing I can do. I do still keep like a big jar, a gigantic bucket full of beans and rice just in case, 5 pound bucket
Yeah.
of beans and rice just in case something
There's a
happens.
lot
But
you can do with that.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I could probably, with the three of us, we could live off of that for a while, right? At least until
You'd be
things
sick
kind
of
of picked
beans
up.
by the time you're done, but yeah.
Yeah, we'd be alive.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, I was gonna keep water too, just in case. I have big water storage containers, but they don't fit
Yeah.
in Manhattan. There's no space in Manhattan. I'm sure you saw that with the hotel when you came here,
Oh,
right?
man.
Everything is
Yeah. That was
small here, miniature.
such a cool experience, though. Yeah.
Yeah, New York is a once in a lifetime kind of place. Truly incredible, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
But anyway, it's really sad that our brother is going down that road. I mean, he's always kind of been a prepper a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly expected this from the other brother, Jeff, though, not
Jeff, a
not
little bit,
Lance.
but no, you didn't expect this out of Lance? I'm shocked.
I didn't. No, I mean, I lived with the dude for years. I mean, as adults,
True.
Florida, we lived together. Um,
Yeah,
I was,
true.
I had my kid, and it was us three
Right.
living in the house and everything. And I hung out with him a lot. We were really close for a long time. And I did not catch any hints that he would have been a Trump supporter. I mean, he's obviously completely off the rails and he's a prepper and freaks out about society collapsing and all that stuff. But I never saw a Trump supporter out of him. I thought he was more skeptical than that.
He was for a while. I'm not really sure what turned it for him.
Yeah, I know. And also, when I knew him, anyway, he was very pro LGBT. Like, he didn't seem to care what people did with their lives. But it seems like he's kind of flipped on that one, huh? Interesting. So, what
Yeah.
about your ex? Is he anti-LGBT, or is there like a difficult kind of what's
He's
the thing?
he's not he's kind of like Lance, where, well, maybe a little bit different than that actually, because he thinks it's a mental illness for
Oh
my
no.
oldest.
Oh,
Yeah. He thinks, which, I mean, she gets
damn.
therapy, she gets treatment, she's fine. Um, he is concerned for the way other people will perceive her and the way other people will treat her, and that is fully valid. That is my
Totally,
concern
yeah.
as well. Fully valid. But insisting that she's a boy and insisting that
Really?
she go dead name is not acceptable, and that doesn't help her.
Is that still happening?
Thankfully, no.
Okay,
But I
that's a
know that he
plus.
believes, I know what his beliefs are, you know. He does struggle with using her chosen name, so he'll use a shortened version of it,
Yeah.
which is the same letter as it sounds like the same letter as the start of her dead name. So
Okay.
in his mind, it's conciliatory on his side, and she accepts that nickname.
Okay. Well, I suppose that's something. Truthfully, it's very jarring. As somebody who's very pro LGBT, do whatever I can to benefit the community and help. It's like surprising and kind of difficult to get used to. And I thought the hard part was going to be the pronouns rather than the name, but actually the pronouns are super easy for me. It was the name that was really
Yeah.
hard to get used to for me. Anyway, yeah, interesting dynamic. And I'm surprised truthfully that your ex has come around at all. Like I said, as somebody who's pro LGBT, it's hard to get used
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been a long time in your case, right?
Yeah, like 6 years or something.
Yeah.
She was 17. She came out to me 4 days after her 17th birthday.
Damn. Well, that sounds like, she'd
She's
been thinking about
24
it for a
now.
while then.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because looking back at her as a young child, I could see it. And I would even slip up and be like, yeah, my daughter's plural.
Hmm.
I'm like, what? No, that's not what I have.
Yeah, yeah.
This
It's
one's,
hard. Yeah.
but it turned out I actually did have two girls.
Yep.
So, yeah,
It's
it's a unique experience, and like I'm glad that I can be supportive of
yeah.
her.
It is an adjustment for sure. What kind of infuriates me is like, and same with abortion generally. I know it's a big topic switch, but it's
The switch, yeah.
hard. It's hard to go through that for somebody. An abortion, it's not fun. People don't enjoy that. That's not
No.
something people just go out and do on the weekends or something. But it feels like it's being weaponized by people, like the real emotions that are involved with having an LGBT family member or having an abortion or whatever, real emotions that you're dealing with are weaponized by the far right
Yes.
to convince people that, they're right about everything and all that. It's really sad.
Yes. Yeah. And
Like they're being
it's very
used.
clear that they don't have any mindset at all. They don't have any understanding at all of what it takes
Right.
for someone to be in that position and to have to make decisions that they have to make.
Yeah.
And like one of the things I hear a lot is use birth control. Well, okay, genius. Sometimes birth control fails.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sometimes birth control fails. I took all of the precautions I needed and it still failed.
Yeah. And
Pregnancy is life and death for me. I cannot continue this. So get out of my fucking uterus.
yeah, and not just that, but there are situations in which, people are like taken advantage of and there is no
Yep.
opportunity to have birth control. And in those cases, it needs to
Yes.
be available to
Yes.
people, period,
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
like this is going to happen. Like society is going to, people in society are going to get abortions. It's going to take place. Now, are you going to increase the rate of death of people who get abortions by
Right.
50% or not,
Do you want to see it done with a knitting needle or a hanger, or would you rather see it done in a safe hospital doctor's visit environment?
Yeah.
Because it seems to me like one is definitely better than the other.
Yeah, and it's just like all propaganda and lies all the way down. This is why I don't vote Republican, because half the things that, well, I haven't talked to Lance in a while, but half the things that Lance talks about and that I've heard of, and half the things that your ex talks about, they're all lies. And it's not them lying necessarily. It's just like they're misinformed about it,
Parrots. Yes.
Yes.
They are parrots.
And it's not the same in the rest of the world. It's not like that. That's why I don't vote on the right. It's just nuts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. One of my girls, she has a new boyfriend, great kid. His father is Asian. And when we met up recently, a couple of weeks ago, to celebrate that daughter's birthday, I met the boyfriend. Nice kid, perfectly smart. He's a student at one of the colleges here in Texas. And he met my daughter at their internship over the summer. They hit it off. It's great. Well, I'm sitting there as we're talking, and I'm like, oh yeah, her dad is real right wing, and he's concerned. He's like, how right wing? Because he's brown. He's brown. He's not. He doesn't look super light. He is brown.
Right.
And so he's definitely concerned, like, how right wing are we talking? Do I need to worry for myself, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, he'll be fine. He's just a freaking parrot.
Yeah.
He does not have any thoughts of his own about it. I mean, he thinks he does, but he's just spewing back the rhetoric that he is fed.
Damn.
So in his mind, yeah, protect your cats and dogs and build a wall.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, man. And he lives like 2 blocks from one of the migration centers in their city. And he's just constantly going on about it. I drove by that place one day. It looks freaking scary.
Really?
It looks scary. Yeah. It's like, it's a lot of guards, a lot of law enforcement presence. You've got to check in at the front and stuff. And like, I get that they need to have a system of keeping track of people and stuff like that and helping them get out into society. But it does not look like a very comfortable place for them inside.
Right.
Wow. And I have compassion for them for that, because they're in a totally strange world, and they're kind of, honestly, Owen, I thought concentration camp when I walked by it.
Damn, that is insane and really sad. I know that most people that come over the border are actually refugees. They're people who are
Yeah.
leaving war-torn areas. They're not like just people coming here to take advantage of, our social system or whatever the hell. They are
Right.
like suffering.
It
They
takes a
have
lot of
been
work to,
suffering.
yeah. Yeah. It's just, I can't say it's sad, so to speak. I'm glad that they're here and I'm glad that they're getting help, but I do wish it was better.
You know what's sad? It's sad that people are pushing to make their lives worse out of fear
Even
or
harder.
misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? While we're on the subject, you and I are native. We are Mohican.
Mhm.
It's in our blood. Now, yes, we grew up not as connected to our culture as would have been nice. Grandma really fought to connect. But the people that are screaming and yelling about these immigrants, get them out of here, are not from here
Right?
either.
I know.
You were an immigrant to begin with, you moron.
They were all
Get
immigrants. Yeah, everybody is an immigrant. It's so ridiculous.
Come on. Come on.
People
And
are
trying to
jokes.
tell the ex-husband that is, or trying to get him to understand that is like next level. I looked at him, I'm like, dude, get off my land.
Yeah,
And he was like,
right.
look, yeah, how do you like that? Stupid.
Yeah, right? And it's like, I don't have to. I can just walk away from these conversations with Lance if I want to. I mean, I'm not in conversation, but I'm just saying I don't have to have these conversations, but you do
Right.
because you're,
Yeah. My kid's down.
yeah. So that's not fun. I think pretty much everybody in my life that I have to deal with is left leaning or at least not a complete nutcase. So like our brother
Yeah.
Jeff is not a complete nutcase. I can say with confidence,
Yeah.
though
Yeah.
he's kind of
Yeah.
right leaning.
Truth be told, Lance isn't a complete nutcase either.
No?
I know he doesn't have a great history. I know, I know. Bear with me.
Okay.
I know he doesn't have a great history, and this whole prepper Trump supporting stuff does not make him look better.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think that he's definitely got some things to work through now, one way or another.
yeah, oh God, yes, yeah, definitely.
Anyway,
And I really wish him the best with the kids stuff
I do too. God, it just sucks. The whole thing sucks. It's not fun, and I wish the kids
does.
the best too. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna get off here and get to some other things. Is there anything else you wanted to mention before we split ways?
Nope. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I will talk to you later on then, right?
Alrighty, have a good one, chat. Bye, guys.
All right, later. Next up, Trump supporters literally think he's God. They just keep coming out of the woodwork. It's honestly impressive how he keeps them isolated in these little bubbles. We'll be right back. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Good Liars, but they do some really funny stuff. They go to Trump rallies and interview ridiculous human beings.
Why'd you decide to come out here to the Trump rally?
Because I don't want that to be president. Pure and simple.
Are you talking about Kamala Harris?
Yeah, that Kamala Harris.
Why are they like this?
Well, you an idiot.
You're an idiot, he says? Why is he an idiot? And people like laughing behind him? Oh, they're just riotous.
Well, you an idiot.
And why are you calling her that word?
Because that's exactly what she is. I mean, I'd use the C.
Like, I didn't want to put a swear right at the front end, but I'm sure that we can all... I'll let you see my mouth when I say it. He's calling her a... If you were unfamiliar, if you couldn't tell or whatever, I think he's calling her a... Anyway, all right, let's keep listening.
Are you calling her that word?
Because that's exactly what she is. I mean, I'd use the C word, but my mama hates it when I say that. So.
Right. And why do you think that?
His mama doesn't care if he calls her a bit. Are you serious?
Because that's exactly what she is. I mean, the proof's in the pudding.
Right. What has she done that makes you...
Yeah, what pudding? What are you talking about? She's done literally nothing. This is a fascinating thought exercise, if you will. Think about it. What has Kamala Harris done to earn their ire? Literally nothing. Everybody hates Joe Biden because, they come up with a billion different reasons. But Kamala Harris walks in and is just like completely clean politically. There is nothing on her record that Republicans have to complain about right now. Don't get me wrong, it'll happen eventually. I'm sure things will come out and I'm sure that she's going to be attacked and all that other stuff. I mean, that's every politician. but that hasn't happened for her yet. The slander machine, or honestly, like the research machine, whatever you want to say. It hasn't happened. What are you complaining about? What did she do? What proof is in the pudding here?
C word, but my mama hates it when I say that. So.
Right. And why do you think that?
Because that's exactly what she is. I mean, the proof's in the pudding.
Right. What has she done that makes you believe that?
What has she not done? What is
This is what I'm talking about.
she not? What has she done? She's done nothing. Her commercials are full.
So what's the one thing that she hasn't done, or the one thing that she has done that makes you call her that?
Communist. She's a communist, pure and simple. And we don't need communists. Yeah.
Okay. I'm still waiting for that one thing. Any second, she's not a communist. Like, not even close. Not even a little bit.
We don't need communists. Yeah, she's a Marxist.
Do they know what these words mean? Are they aware of who Karl Marx was? Are they aware that he invented or that he wrote about communism? My mistake. I didn't mean communist. I meant Marxist. I'm sorry. Got to correct myself. As if he's read any of the literature, knows anything about this subject.
Communist. Yeah, she's a Marxist.
But what's the thing that she's done that makes her a communist?
Everything from paying bail for the criminals, letting them out early.
She did not do that. What are you talking about?
You know, releasing evil people, and she's just evil.
You actually think she's evil?
Yes, I think she's evil.
Okay, so we are a minute into this video, and so far, I'm comfortable saying she's done nothing to upset this guy. Literally nothing. She could be just like Trump, for all he knows. He has no clue, because he's completely outside of this political bubble. He has no idea who she is or what her policies are or anything.
Okay.
Satan's who she worships.
You think she worships Satan?
I know she worships Satan
Well, how do you know that?
because of her actions.
Okay. Yeah, you think she actually worships Satan, Kamala Harris?
I believe she sure does.
Have you seen any evidence that that's true?
Yeah, I have. I just through her actions and her attitude.
Which actions? Oh my God. Or attitudes. I'll take anything.
Yeah, all the illegal immigrants they're letting in this country. Every country in this world has emptied their penitentiaries and sent them over here, and she just letting them right in.
That's bull. But you know what? Immigration is actually phenomenally good for a country. I don't want to go down this road right now, but why do people hate immigration? It is so helpful. It boosts an economy to have a bigger workforce in it. More workers means more spending, which means more industry. It makes an economy explode. I don't understand. There's one reason I can think of why people would be opposed to immigration. And for the record, the people coming over the border, they're not immigrants. They're by and large refugees escaping war-torn areas. And there's a humanitarian corridor at the border specifically to let those people in so that they can reach a UN refugee center to request asylum. That's why they're coming over the border. These people live in another dimension. And for some reason, immigration is like one of the top political issues. It's going to make or break the election. That and abortion.
And that makes you believe she's worshiping Satan?
Yeah, because of all the children that. Oh, I don't.
Yeah, because of all the children. I don't want to talk about it, man. All the children. Oh my God, dude. Get help. Please. Get help. It gets worse, if you can believe this. Check this clip out. Here's another one about Donald Trump and how incredible he is.
Trump is the closest thing to God.
Trump is the closest thing to God, really?
Absolutely, absolutely. He's what's gonna fix this nation. This nation's corrupt. We're all split. America used to be all together.
Yeah.
Now we're all split up. Why? We need to come back together. The only person who's gonna mold us is God first and then Trump.
God, then Trump.
God, then Trump, absolutely. But if God's not there, Trump's not gonna come out. I'll say that. Kamala comes out, Satan's out, and you better be scared.
So you believe that Trump is picked by God?
I believe so. I believe that Trump is blessed by God. I believe that Trump has come from blessed parents. His parents worked for what they had. His parents made him, molded him to become the person that he is.
His parents worked for what they had. Why didn't she say Trump worked for what he has? Why didn't she point that one out? You think maybe because he didn't?
So Trump is selling Bibles for $60.
Okay.
Is that he's profiting off of selling Bibles? Is that a godly thing to do?
Is it a godly thing for the Democrats to be okay with killing?
We're not talking about Democrats. We're talking about Trump. You said he's godly. Is he godly or not? This is a quoque fallacy, I think is what it's called, also known as the no you fallacy. You are a bad person, so anything that I do is justified.
Godly thing to do.
Is it a godly thing for the Democrats to be okay with killing their babies? Is that okay?
I guess you answered my question with another question. Okay. Just answer this question. Is it a godly thing to do for Trump to be?
Absolutely. It's a business. He's a businessman. That's what this country needs. What do we need?
And if the business is selling the Bible, that's okay?
That's perfectly fine. What are churches doing? When you go to church, don't they ask you for $1? Don't they ask you to do this and that? Churches are businesses. This whole country's a business.
No. Churches are charities. They're supposed to run like charities, but they are very much like businesses, unfortunately. They're not supposed to operate that way. They're supposed to, they're tax exempt so that they can contribute to society. A business's motive is to make more money. A church's motive, or any nonprofit organization, should be to help people, like the Wounded Warrior Project. Terrible organization, in my knowledge, but it's supposed to help veterans. It's supposed to fill gaps that government is not filling when it should be. Like veterans don't have a place to live, or they need mental health care, or whatever. Charities come in and fill that gap that government is like dropping the ball with. The Wounded Warrior Project's motive should not be profit. It should be charity. Church's motive should be charity. And the government shouldn't have a profit motive. You know, there are some things that in the economy you cannot negotiate on. You need it. It's an inelastic demand. You must have an appendix removed if it's about to burst, and you will pay literally any amount of money for that. $100,000 if that's what it takes, and pay it off for the rest of your life, or you die. One or the other. That's an inelastic demand, as opposed to buying, I don't know, what do kids buy nowadays? Tape decks, new boom boxes or record players or whatever the hell they're using. Anyway, that's an elastic demand. People don't need that stuff. Government is full of inelastic demands. They should be providing things that are like inelastic demands, like healthcare, for example, or Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, those types of things. That's what government should be doing. It should not be a businessman at the top of government. It should not. That's a bad thing. And, if the previous 4 years didn't show that from when Trump was in office, I don't know what will. So those are the Good Liars, dude. I like the Good Liars a lot. They're really funny. I have a bunch of stuff from them, actually. But, let's just go back for a second and talk about some of the other examples of Trump nutcases saying that he's like God, basically. Check this one out. This one is from mid-December 2023.
I don't want to say he's perfect. The only perfect person that ever walked this earth was Jesus, but he was wonderful in office for 4 years, and he proved that. So what is
No, he wasn't.
About Trump that you love so much?
Number one, he's a godly man.
Where are we talking about the same guy?
He's working for God, for darn sure. Number two, he really cares about us. He cares about us. He cares about what happens to us. He cares about our country.
Boy, this is an awkward thing for her to say in light of all the stuff Trump is doing right now, right? Like getting rallies, or getting his arranging rallies and then just not showing up for like 4 hours, not sending buses around to bring people to their cars or any of that other stuff. Yeah, that one is awkward.
He didn't come in there because he wanted the money. He's got money.
No, he wanted the power, of course. Yes. When rich people have reached peak richness, now they want power. That's why Elon Musk is doing what he's doing. Are you kidding me with this?
He's coming there because he is actually working for God, and he wants to help us, and he wants to get us to he wants to make America great again. And I it's true.
It is not true. It's literally the exact opposite of true.
But I think he's going to make it even greater, because I don't think, no matter what they try to do to stop him, he's going to come back, because he's working for God and God's on his side.
Absolutely he is.
Oh my God, dude. Well, it gets even weirder than that. You think that one is the weirdest clip I've got? Oh no. Check this out. God bows down to President Donald Trump, declares he is perfect. Trump 2020. What a wild sign to put on your front lawn, right? What a wild thing to have on your front lawn. And then, of course, there's that book by Helgard Muller. You guys remember that book? Donald J. Trump, the Son of Man, the Christ. Remember that? That was passed around rallies for a while. I read that whole book on air. It was crazy. It was an insane book to read. Anyway, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like forever ago, there's this woman, Natasha Owens. She wrote a song about Donald Trump and how great he is. I haven't talked about this in forever. I had to remove the music part. So all you're going to hear is the voice. It's AI enhanced voice only. But just give this a listen.
I'm not saying he's something divine. He gets in trouble bigly time after time. He's controversial, but one thing is true. Imperfect people, a perfect God can use. I'm standing with the chosen one.
The chosen one. This is so bad, dude. Oh my God. It's so bad.
I am the chosen one.
Ain't no stopping what the Lord's begun. He's only human like you and me. Just a chosen one.
Somebody had to do it.
Chosen one.
It's so bad, dude. Oh my God. That's Lara Trump singing. I don't think so. Is it? Is that? No, it's Natasha Owens, I believe. Isn't it Natasha Owens? Anyway, this is vomit-inducing bad.
This great nation is under attack, and its real leader has arrows in his back. So many.
Oh my God, this great leader has arrows in his back. They show pictures of Biden, Fannie Willis, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, and Jack Smith.
So many greet him with Judas kiss.
Now they're showing all the Republicans that have spoken out against him. Michael Cohen, I guess he's not really a Republican. Michael Bolton. No, is that his name? Michael Bolton? John Bolton. Okay, I'm thinking the singer. My mistake. Yeah, John Bolton. I was thinking Office Space, actually.
But God gave us a warrior for such a time as this. I'm standing with the chosen one. Ain't no stopping what the Lord's begun.
This is some wild propaganda, dude. Oh my God. And look at this, like army guys running toward Donald Trump as he just stands there looking like a fool. It's just so painfully stupid. It's just disgustingly painfully stupid. And for the record, you remember earlier that girl said,
is the closest thing to God.
Trump is the closest thing to God, really?
Absolutely, absolutely. He's what's going to fix this nation. This nation's corrupt. We're all split. America used to be all together.
Yeah, that whole all together thing, we're all split. I don't mean to keep bringing it back to this, but I wrote a book about this. Was Hitler an atheist? It's out now, just released, so check it out. Link in the description. It's on Amazon and Audible. Was Hitler an atheist? Anyway, when Hitler ran for his election, he was the protest vote. People f***ing hated him. He was a colossal scumbag. No one wanted Hitler in, practically. Like 10% of the country, or 15% maybe, wanted him. And he lost. He lost his election. And then he was appointed chancellor by the president. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. When he ran for office, he ran as the unity candidate. Hitler pretended that he was going to unify the country and set things right and all this other. Why is it that every time somebody is like controversial as they pretend that they're the unity candidate? Why? Why do people do that? I mean, Biden has unified the country more than Trump has by far. Not to say he has unified it, but certainly more than Trump. And he didn't talk about being the unity candidate nonstop. Didn't cram that down everyone's throats. 36% to von Hindenburg's 53%. There you go. Thanks for the statistics on that. Did not have that. Election took place in 1932, I believe. And after he took the chancellery, they dissolved the Reichstag. They commonly do that. It just means they hold new elections, basically. And it happened every time a new one was appointed, pretty much, to try to consolidate power and show support or whatever. Anyway, that was in 1933.
Ain't no stopping what the Lord's begun. He's only human like you and me.
Oh my God, dude. Look at this woman. Oh my God. What is going on here? She's clapping her hands into bloody nubs right now. Why? Who is this? I don't know who this woman is. Does anybody know who this is? I'm afraid if I Google Lens this, then some crazy shit's gonna pop up because she's like crying her eyes out. Who is this woman? Is this just some rando? Is that Ben Carson's wife? No, his wife's black. Anyway, I don't know, but I wonder if her hands still exist or if she just had to have, if she has prosthetics now because she clapped them so raw.
Like you and me, just a chosen one. The chosen one.
By the way, where is Melania? I see her in all these videos. Where is she right now, I wonder? Is she with her boyfriend or something?
Brothers and sisters, lay down your stones. There's only one God and he's still on the throne.
Oh my God. Well, the AI did a really good job of isolating the voice, right? Oh man.
I'm standing with the chosen one. Ain't no stopping what the Lord's begun. He's only human like you and me.
Oh, I remember that. Oh my God. They're showing all of his stupid moments, like throwing paper towels to people who are suffering from a hurricane, right? And catering the White House with Big Macs. You guys remember this? They're playing all the stupid shit. I love it.
Like you and me, just a chosen one. The chosen one. He stands for me.
Okay, now they're just showing him going and talking to people, whatever.
He stands for you. He stands for freedom. He stands for truth. Trump is the chosen one.
What a wild thing to say, right? He's the chosen one. God bless. Just wild, man. I don't know. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. This is honestly insane, but so entertaining to me. Next up, Pastor Robin Bullock thinks scientists sacrificed a human to Hurricane Milton, which is what made it powerful. Really, this guy needs help desperately. We'll be right back. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they worked together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. This is Robin Bullock on the right. He's like a Trump prophet. He says just the wildest stuff, man. He laid down some prophecies about Hurricane Milton. Like, it's already long past, but he wanted to tell us some secrets that we didn't know about it. So let's listen to these religiously revealed secrets. By the way, there's a major lag in between his voice and his video, so just kind of overlook it.
And he seeks to wear you down until you say, well, I don't care. I don't care. Let me tell you where the solution is. Here's the solution. I'm just going to speak to you as a prophet.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know you wanted me to tell that. You stopped me a couple times. You want me to say that.
You catching what he's doing right now? He's pretending to have received a message from God live on air. And I guess God needs him to audibly talk back to him. Or God won't be able to hear it, right? That's why Robin was talking with his voice. Oh my God, dude, this is so stupid.
Is. Here's the solution. I'm just going to speak to you as a prophet.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know you wanted me to tell that.
It's so embarrassing.
Stopped me a couple times. You want me to say that. We are right here. Let's just say for right here where I'm sitting, right here beside my head, picture a thin veil, like it's very thin, and you can see through it, but you don't know You don't know it's there.
Okay, so God is giving him this message directly to give to us. So we shouldn't hear any kind of mistakes or any hiccups or confusion. It should make complete sense, right? And by the way, why would God do this? Why doesn't God just talk to us directly in our heads? Don't we all have a connection to him or whatever? Why did he get this poor fool on this tiny little Facebook page or whatever to deliver this message?
Don't know it's there. It's real thin. There is a serpent. The spirit of the serpent is right there. And you can't see him, but he's right there. The veil is that thin and it's that close.
Okay, so there's a thin veil. Got it. Thank you. I think you made that clear over the past 45 seconds.
And he's waiting to get in. He's just waiting on the opportunity. This is the fulfillment of all the ages. Either we push it over the top or the Antichrist comes in early.
We push it over the top. Is he saying we go out and vote a bunch? Because this is pre-election when... Hey, no! Oh! Miki, get down. Cat's standing on my soundboard. Hang on. My God. Trying to play music for you guys over here. Try that again. So is he saying that they have to vote Trump in, but they have to push it over the top? They have to get a whole bunch of people out to overwhelm? I don't understand. If there's cheating, then why would that matter? You know, there are actual cases of election cheating in other countries. A lot. Like in Russia, or a better example is Belarus. Lukashenko, the dictator there, always gets about 70% of the vote, give or take. Always the exact same range. Because they don't want to make it blatantly obvious that it's a dictatorship. They want to make it seem like it has a veneer of democracy. Thus implying, I suppose, that democracy is a good thing or that the people would want it. I don't know. Anyway, it has a veneer of democracy, but they slowly replace every member of Congress with members of the far right. They keep doing ballot box stuffing and all of these other things that Donald Trump has claimed. The reason that he's made these claims about these things, about early voting and all that, is because dictatorships really do use those things to manipulate elections. And they have for ever, since the early days of democracy. Anyway, if a dictator wants to mess with the elections, they'll mess with the elections. It doesn't matter how many people come out and vote. Lukashenko is still going to get 70%. He's going to keep his people in Congress. That's just how it's going to work. So I don't know what he's thinking by saying this. It doesn't make any sense.
The Antichrist comes in early. It's one of the two. And so people say, well, this is not encouraging. It is if you're fighting. You've got to stand in the Spirit. Do you know the power that you and I have in the Spirit? Now, if you think that this is not a spiritual occultic war, we see the top echelons of the spirit world working with top officials.
What does he mean when he says occultic exactly? Terrible time to start chewing. Sorry, guys. Chewing a Tootsie Roll. I got a whole bunch of them here. My wife's mom sent a gigantic box of candy, and we've been burning through it, but she doesn't eat chocolate because she's allergic, so there are a billion Tootsie Rolls at the bottom that I'm eating. Anyway, I was dealing with this question when I was writing my book. Was Hitler an atheist? What does a cult mean? I wanted to know if he really was an atheist, as Christians claim, or if he was a Christian like atheists claim. And the answers are in here. It's on Amazon and Audible and everywhere else. OwenMorgan.com to find it if you want it. Anyway, as it turns out, Hitler was not involved in the occult at all. That's just a fabrication. He was not. Aside from that, what does occult mean? In Nazi Germany era, pagan meant basically non-Christian. It was pretty much people that believed in the old Germanic gods, the old Norse gods, actually, like Thor and Odin and Loki and stuff. It was people that believed in that stuff. Those are pagans. What is a cult? Is it people that believe in magic? I have no idea I'm sorry, let me rephrase. I have no idea what Robin Bullock is talking about specifically when he says a cult. What does he mean by that exactly? Does he mean in his mind that like witches and warlocks are running around using their magic to curse people and like
working with top officials. The WEF. We watched as a shaman witch was.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. The WEF. Walking into this conspiracy theory, let me just give you a little bit of background. The World Economic Forum is a non-government organization registered with the United Nations. It's run by, I think, a guy named Klaus Schwab. He's a German guy. And the purpose of this NGO is to identify problems in the world. Say there's a polio outbreak in Sudan or in the Congo or something. The leader of the WEF then goes to really, really rich people internationally, including Chinese billionaires, Bill Gates and George Soros and any other billionaires, goes to them and says, if we had $50 million, we could stop this polio outbreak in the Congo. That way we can get the vaccines made and we can set up a distribution network and take out this epidemic. And it works. And, these billionaires feel good about themselves because they bettered society a little bit, at least. That's what the WEF does. It organizes large efforts to correct worldwide problems. They also address like food insecurity, stuff like that. They were targeted after COVID started because they said locking down the way that we are is kind of changing the way that the world's economies function. And this is our opportunity to reset our economies to be more beneficial to the working poor or the working class. And seemingly out of nowhere, just like overnight almost, I don't know where it came from, but all of a sudden, this organization that deals directly with billionaires and who said that they want to help the poor, suddenly there's a conspiracy theory about them trying to control the world or some other crazy thing like that. Anyway, that's the World Economic Forum. They oftentimes honor rich people that have worked with them. They call up Elon Musk, who I think was asked to show up to one of their conferences, but I don't think he showed. Anyway, they call him up or they give him an award or an honor or whatever for being rich. I don't have any clue. Anyway, that's what the WEF is. It's part of the Great Reset conspiracy theory. Let's keep listening here.
Working with top officials. The WEF. We watched as a shaman witch was brought on the stage of the WEF and coughing and spitting on them.
Okay, I looked into this. This shaman witch to which he's referring was just an indigenous person that was showing up to give a talk on issues that indigenous people deal with. That's the shaman witch. I guess if you're not red, white, and blue-blooded American, then you're a shaman witch. What a colossal scumbag, dude.
That's really something to do in a world of COVID, isn't it? They're the very ones that push the mask and push all this, and yet they're letting some shaman witch spit on them.
What, she coughs during her thing and suddenly you're accusing people? What is he even accusing people of? I don't understand.
Breathe on them. Think about that just a minute. And they're leaning into her face. No mask. And this is supposed to be in the world where disease is rampant.
So does he not think that disease is rampant in this world?
But they're letting this happen. Then you see CERN doing what it's doing.
Oh my God, another conspiracy. The particle accelerator, CERN, when they set things up, they detected the Higgs boson famously. They were gifted a bunch of things from different countries around the world. One of the countries that gifted them stuff was India. They gave them a statue of Shiva, one of the gods of Hinduism, Shiva. And people believe that that's pagan, and that now we know that they're trying to create a black hole to suck the world in. I mean, he's hitting every conspiracy theory here. Wow, dude.
Then you see the Gothard Tunnel dedicated with the ceremony of Pan right before the pandemic happened.
I don't know that one.
Then you see all of this stuff happening. Well, now this is not anything new. It keeps going. We get to Paris. Paris starts the Olympics.
Oh, no.
And you see the white horse of the apocalypse riding across the ocean with the flowing garment behind them. They get there. And when they get there, the first thing they do is blaspheme the Last Supper.
Oh my God, dude. It doesn't stop. I want to hit each of these conspiracies just in case somebody wasn't paying attention at the time or didn't hear about this. But when the Olympics started, I think Paris put on some kind of a show. It was like the Greek gods, you know, it was the Greek gods all together and they were singing and stuff. They were dressed like Greek gods. He's going to like hit this pretty hard. So let me just show a picture. Is Dionysus. Yeah, he's supposed to look like Dionysus. Here you go, Dionysus, right there. This is the kind of picture or the scene that he's referring to here. And he says that this is making fun of the Last Supper. Bro, no. There are other people on this planet other than you. Are you aware of that, Robin? Are you aware that other people have other beliefs and experiences in their lives other than your experiences? Is this the first time anybody has ever said that to him? So there is a claim that the Paris Olympics were like mocking God, making fun of the Last Supper and all kinds of stuff and blaspheming and blah, 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 you know.
With a table full of transgenders and some guy, blue guy with a diaper laying in the middle of the table. And they're sinning in every indulgence they can.
Oh my God, dude. They are Greek gods, okay?
Portraying Jesus and his disciples. We see it open with that. France. But then we see transgenders going into competition in the Olympics.
Here's another one. No, that didn't happen. There were no trans people in the Olympics at any point. There were no trans people there. He's claiming that there was a trans woman in women's boxing. She's cis. She's not trans. She was never trans. She's cis. But somebody says, I got punched really hard by her. And Robin Bullock is like, well, we all know that women can't punch hard. So she must be a man through the transitive property or whatever.
Then we see the closing ceremony where the piano's turned upside down.
I don't know this one.
And they begin to play the hymn of Apollo. And while they're playing this hymn of Apollo,
of course, using the word hymn because he wants to make it seem like it's some religious worship or something.
This golden creature comes down and meets the guy on the white horse and lets these hordes loose that raise a portal out of hell and hang it up in the Olympic.
Raise a portal out of hell.
Rings. And the scripture said, in the Greek, his name is Apollo, and that was a Grecian games called the Olympics.
Wait, did he just say the Bible said that?
That raise a portal out of hell and hang it up in the Olympic rings. And the scripture said, in the Greek, his name is Apollo.
Okay, now hang on a second. Does the Bible talk about the Olympics? Huh, check that out. No, it doesn't, apparently. No, the Bible does not directly mention the Olympic Games. However, the Bible does use sports imagery to describe the Christian life, and some say that the Bible's parallels between sports and faith can be applied to the Olympics. Okay. So no, it does not mention the Olympics. He's just like making this up is the point.
Hang it up in the Olympic rings. And the scripture said, in the Greek, his name is Apollo, and that was a Grecian games called the Olympics. Then on top of all of that, then you start seeing this hurricane form that everybody says is man-made. They start talking about being man-made. It's more man-made than they realize.
Who is talking about it being man-made other than Robin Bullock? He says, everybody knows it. Everybody knows this stuff.
It happened bigger than they think, because I'm not at liberty to say till I have the facts.
When has that ever stopped you, Robin?
But it was brought to my attention last night that 2 years ago.
I'm not at liberty to say, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Last night that 2 years ago, there was a big fashion show where people trudged through the mud and mudslides and everything. And it looked like kind of that event.
Like what event?
And then it looked like zombies walking through it. And then watch this. Then you see, what is the last hurricane? Was it
Milton?
Was that
Milton,
the name?
yeah.
Was that what they call?
Milton.
Yeah. Did you see the eye of it? Did you see the eye of that hurricane?
I mean,
Did you
I
see
think
what
so.
it looks like?
I mean, it was a hurricane eye. Like, well, I don't understand.
No, I didn't see what it looks like.
Oh, if they had a picture of that. Oh, if they had a picture
They have a picture. They'll show it in a minute.
of that, they ought to put it up. It's a demon from hell. And you.
Oh my God, dude. All right, you know what? I'm gonna have to show the picture. Hang on. Like, they cycle through a bunch of pictures because they can't find the right one. But right here at the end, it's a demon from hell. He's showing a picture of like the radar or whatever. Brother, this is what hurricanes look like. Is this your first time looking at a hurricane ever? Oh my God, people. We need to normalize mental health, like, desperately. This is the point at which the dude's family members should be having a discussion with each other about whether they should be taking his keys away and like calling a mental institution. The guy is unironically claiming that CERN is trying to destroy the world with a black hole, and that the World Economic Forum is controlling things from the shadows and zombies. Like, what the hell is he talking about? The women in mud or whatever? What? He's just like, is he making this stuff up or what? It is wild to listen to. For the record, he does make things up, just straight up, right off the top of his head, just lies. Let me show you proof that he does that. All right, here's your proof that Robin Bullock just straight up lies, okay? April 26, 2022, Bullock goes on a show with Roger Stone and Steve Schultz, and Roger Stone decides to come with something interesting, and he claims that there's a portal open above the White House that through which demons are escaping and, you know, ravaging the land or some other crazy thing. And Steve Schultz up here asks Robin Bullock how they can close this portal to hell to stop these demons from pouring into our realm.
There is very clearly, in my opinion, some kind of satanic portal that is right above the White House, can be seen day and night.
Let's play that little clip because this is from a sky cam, not our cam.
All right, let me jump forward to another clip about it. Just another minute or two later, they continue on with this.
There's that circular thing.
There you can see it. It's very, very clear. It doesn't move day or night. It's harder to see during the
Sure, I don't even need to say it's just bullshit. It was all bullshit the whole time.
day, but you see it at night. I'm absolutely convinced about the inherent, there it is again, about the inherent evil of what's going on in the White House, what's going on in the country. And I think it's imperative that people know about this, that people of good faith, that Christians know about this, and we begin a national, essentially a prayer assault to close the portal.
That's good. Now, there's one during the day that it's harder to see, but
You can see it.
It's there.
This isn't during the day. This is at night. What do you mean during the day? We're looking at a shot of the black sky. Also, what's there? I'm looking at a light shining from the White House. What are they seeing?
It's right there above the White House. So
It's always above that gable. You notice that?
Oh my God, they're so full of. Anyway, so that happens April 26, 2022. And then late March 2024, so about 2 years later, Robin Bullock goes on this woman's TV show. He says this on there.
Worship. So we've come down. See, that day we called down, I said, Lord, send the fire, the Elijah moment. Then this portal forms over the White House.
Oh, it was you all of a sudden that formed that portal, huh? Okay. Like he doesn't realize there's some fucking asshole on the other end watching all the stupid shit he says to catch him in lies like this. Oh my God, man. It's just crazy to me that he can so brazenly lie to people's faces like this. He thought nobody would remember. It's just like, it's so wild that somebody would do this. Just a public figure of all people steals something like this and claim that they did this. That's nuts.
Of fire. And it's over it now. And they don't want anybody to see that.
Who is they? Who doesn't want anyone to see this or whatever?
And but it was there, and I guess it's still there. It was there, and it was their own cameras that showed it. And people couldn't get over it because in the daylight it was like a round circle, and at night it looked like an orange moon surrounded with a white
God, he's so full of Oh my God. Look at what I found in this thing of candy. Do you guys remember these? Do you guys ever have these when you were little? Is it focused? Can you see it? It's that little strawberry thing. You remember these? Oh my God, I haven't had one of these in like so long. Yeah, that's crazy. I forgot these even existed. I have to eat that later. I can't eat it now, sadly. Yeah, they're really good. Anyway, point is that Robin Bullock just flat out lies to people. All right, keep listening to his absolutely insane. This is why I don't know if he's lying or dumb as dog. I cannot tell.
And you can see it, the whole face of the profile of this thing. And they gave it a name.
Hurricane Milton. Oh my God.
But get this, all at once, for no reason, this thing had a mind of its own. And the Hurricane Helen was first.
Hurricane Helen? I don't know of any Hurricane Helen. When's the last Hurricane Helen we've had? I know of Helene. Is that the one he's referring to?
Hurricane Helen was first. Then this thing comes along and crosses it the other direction. Has a mind of its own.
Completely full of it. Just came in from over Central America, I believe. It crossed over the, not peninsula. Maybe it is peninsula, whatever, the land bridge or whatever in Central America. It crossed into the Gulf and then it turned into a hurricane. This storm did. So anyway, it's just like completely full of
But here's what they did. Suddenly we find out that the plane that goes up and flies into the eye of the hurricane.
All right, now let me explain. There are people that work for the NOAA. It's National, what's that stand for? National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, a U.S. government agency. People that work for NOAA take airplanes into hurricanes to take measurements and things like that to help people prepare so that we understand the hurricane better and can, determine if we need to evacuate or what. One of the pilots that did this, his whole life died a while back, and they decided to, on their trip to the hurricane to do their measurements, they decided to pour his ashes into the hurricane as a tribute or whatever while they were up there. It's a nice tribute. All right, so now listen to what he says.
Plane that goes up and flies into the eye of the hurricane. They took the ashes of a dead man and poured it into the eye of the hurricane.
This is this guy huffing and puffing on the laugh. He's so upset.
Are you kidding me?
They offered it a sacrifice. They offered it the ashes of a man.
Brother, it wasn't a sacrifice. The guy was already dead. Isn't a sacrifice where you kill somebody for a cause or whatever?
Put it in the eye of that thing. They said, oh, he was a meteorologist and he chased these hurricanes and they took. No, that's not the one.
Yeah, he says, I need that picture of the hurricane. So they're showing him like a billion pictures. They're cycling through them. He's like, no, that one doesn't look weird. I'm looking for this very specific picture that kind of maybe a little bit looks like it could be a person.
The one. This guy, they said, was a storm chaser all of his life. They stood around with a ceremony in the middle of that hurricane. And
a ceremony?
Poured the ashes of a dead man into its eye. And when it did, that thing went crazy.
Yeah. Ashes contributed enough energy to a hurricane to destroy Florida. Totally. That checks out.
Just crazy. And you think it's not occultic. Those people, one newscaster said it was a beautiful thing.
Right, yeah. A tribute to a guy that worked his whole life on this thing? Yeah, it is. Are you kidding me right now?
Does that even sound feasible?
It doesn't. It sounds stupid.
Does he know what the word feasible means?
It sounds stupid. And in a natural, some ashes flying in with there's that kind of powerful wind would have zero effect.
There you go. You're using your brain now.
But not if it's occultic. It would have a huge effect.
So it was occultic. That's why it affected it. Oh my God, bro. Get helped.
We say, well, those people, they probably just meant to honor his memory as a storm chaser.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care what anybody says or does. Satan knew that was an offering of a human corpse.
But I think if sacrifice has to be somebody giving something up. This dude was already dead. He wasn't giving anything up.
Into the eye of that thing. And that thing, Steve, it's more man-made than people realize.
Okay.
And
Wow.
you know, I was the first hurricane that came through.
Helene.
I was sitting at a farm and I was studying and the Lord let me know. He said, what you're seeing is there was a war council called in Atlanta, Georgia by hell itself.
A war council called in Atlanta by hell.
A war council.
For what?
Was called by Satan. And when those...
And how does he have this information? Is God giving him this information? What's he supposed to do with this?
War council was called by Satan. And when those demons left all those posts and headed toward Atlanta, it caused that first one. My point being is that dam broke in the Carolinas.
But what is this ribbon he's wearing? Is this the autism awareness ribbon? What is this? Hang on. Oh, it's suicide prevention awareness. That's nice. I wonder why he's wearing that. Okay, I'll take it.
Is that dam broke in the Carolinas? All that happened in Georgia. Everything. Now, where was the big voter fraud at? Georgia.
No, it wasn't. There was no big voter fraud, quote unquote, in Georgia. There is effectively zero fraud in the United States in the 2020 election, aside from the odd person here or there voting for their dead spouse. That happened a few times. Donald Trump supporters tried to vote in their spouse's name or in their kids' names or whatever. There was no systemic fraud, though. Zero systemic fraud. There's nobody that set out to commit fraud on a mass scale and did it. That did not happen.
This is where it's all happening. And these demonic hordes met and they occupied states back before. I mean, it was overcast wind coming out of the west. Everything was just total chaotic. Then right on the heels of it, this Milton comes along and they pour a dead man's ashes into its eye.
It is so stupid.
And then on top of that, Netanyahu was talking about when Hamas.
There you go.
And you could see it in his face. There it is.
Yeah, that's a face in
No, it's not. It's a hurricane. Pareidolia much?
the form of a cloud, and what in the swirl, there's a nose and a mouth. Gee.
No, there isn't.
And there's his eye.
Yeah, right
and
there.
That's what they named Milton. And that's what they poured the ashes into that eye. Why would you do that? Well, we just wanted to honor it.
No.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
He's insane. Does he really believe this stuff? Is he a true believer? Or is he completely full of shit? I know he's full of shit on the demonic portal or whatever. I can't get over that. Everything out of the guy's mouth seems to be a lie. Anyway, tell what you think about it in the comments. Is he lying or is he dumb as dog? Let me know which one. Yellow ribbons are also to support the troops. Oh, okay. Well, that's more likely what he was doing then. It was almost certainly not about suicide awareness. He doesn't seem like that kind of a person that would give a shit about something that's genuinely important. He seems like the kind of person who just virtue signals constantly. Oh, look how much I care about the troops. I'm a true Republican right here. God, Jesus Christ, bro. Really, like, it's beyond time to take his keys and bring some people in who can have some intensive therapy with him. This is too much. Next up, Pastor Shane Vaughn is convinced the vaccine is fake. In fact, it isn't just the COVID vaccine. He's obsessed with all vaccines, even for the flu. He's apparently created an app to make it easier to evade vaccination. We'll be right back. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. This is Shane Vaughn. He's a Trump pastor. Basically believes that Donald Trump is Jesus, effectively. There's a whole theology behind it. Anyway. He's also an anti-vaxxer, and he's come up with this interesting new idea to help his congregation also be anti-vaxxers, fascinatingly. Give this a listen.
I just don't know how I am going to be able to personalize thousands of letters like we did a few years ago. I don't have the staff. And the lady that helped me do it last time, bless her heart, she was uncompensated for thousands of hours of work. So
thousands of hours of work? How much work is that? Let's say 1,000 hours of work. We're talking 6 months of full-time, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week work? That's a lot. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble believing that.
I think the only thing I'll be able to do is if you download the app on your phone tomorrow, I will type a generic vaccine letter. These will not be personalized. We just don't have the time this go round.
Okay, so he's talking about the flu vaccine at the moment. But he had the time to write an app? Do you know how much money it costs to make an app? I do, because I was a programmer for a long time. I made apps in Objective-C for the iPhone. It takes about 6 months, 3 to 6 months, depending on how complex the app is, with a team of 4 people working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week to produce an app that's decent, that's secure, that operates well, that has all of the features we're looking for. About 6 months, 4 people. So we're looking at 4 times 8 times 5 times 4 times 6. So we're looking at 3,800 hours, say $50 an hour per person. We're looking at $200,000. You could probably pay 1 or 2 people to work together to produce an app for real cheap over the course of 6 months part-time, and maybe do it for $50,000. So you're telling me that you couldn't afford to pay this woman for thousands of hours of work, of her writing people's names and giving them vaccine exemptions and mailing them out. You couldn't afford to pay her to do that, but you could pay between $50,000 and $200,000 to produce an app to give out generic vaccine exemption letters. Really? Okay.
But I will upload that, and I will put, if you get the app, when you open the app, there will be a screen there that says, click here for your flu vaccine letter. Click there, and it will take you to the letter, and then you can download that letter. So that's what we'll do.
Why didn't he just put it on a website? Why didn't he make this available to people on a website? I don't understand. Why did he do an app for this? And why is he requiring people to download the app for this? Really? This is just a scam, right? Is this not just a scam? I mean, dude's been talking about vaccines for a while. Since we're on this subject, is it weird to anybody else that he claims, like, vaccines are against his religion? How? Why? Vaccines did not exist in Bible times. Where could you have possibly pulled that from? I don't even know of a verse that you could twist around to kind of represent an anti-vax position.
They have nothing that's going to help my judgment.
Jesus, that startled me.
They have nothing that's going to help my judgment that's coming upon this nation. The only help for the child of God in this hour is the shed blood of the Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua the Messiah. You better learn that, and you better learn it fast, or you're going to chase vaccines until there ain't no vaccines left.
Oh, no, not that.
I don't care if you got one, go for it. God bless you if that's your choice. But I'm telling you, if that's where your faith is, you're going to be in for a big disappointment.
Okay, wow. So this is basically like, I guess, an analogy to this would be like him saying, you want everybody to have a driver's license? You think that everybody should be qualified to drive a vehicle? Go for it. Get a license if you want. But if you're putting your faith in driver's licenses to keep you safe on the road, if you're putting your faith in the idea that everybody else will be safer if they have a license, you're putting your faith in the wrong thing. Are you kidding me right now? You think God is going to miraculously protect you in your vehicle from all of the idiots that don't know how to drive because they didn't get training for it because they don't have a driver's license?
God is going to force you to look to him. These vaccines are going to quit working on every corner until this nation falls to her knees.
Any second. Just waiting for that to happen still.
Repents for dead babies.
Dead babies. Oh, boy.
And repents for the sodomy of this nation.
God, dude. Oh, my God. Get help, bro. Really. This is insane. This is not, by any stretch of the imagination, his only anti-vax take. He's also, like I said, a Trump, not just Trump loyalist, but like he literally believes that Trump is the Messiah. That is the word that he used. He says Trump is a Messiah. You know what? I should just show you that clip real fast. I mean, it's tangentially related, but since I said it, let me just prove it.
Into your life that you didn't ask for, you didn't create, you're just anointed for that season, and the evidence of it is on the prosperity of the nation and the people. Donald Trump carries the prophetic seal of the calling of God. He is Joseph. If you are anointed by Yahweh for a specific plan and purpose, you are a Messiah. Yeshua was the Messiah of mankind, but Donald Trump is the Messiah of America.
Like I said, big complicated theology behind it, but he is actually a Donald Trump pastor, effectively. Like, no hyperbole here. He actually believes that Trump is a Messiah. Anyway, listen to him reframe Donald Trump's Operation Warp Speed thing, trying to push the vaccine out really quickly. Listen to him reframe that into something positive about Donald Trump and still negative about vaccines.
Now, many people have told me that, they're losing faith in Donald Trump because of his stand on the vaccine. Let me correct you. You're not losing faith in Donald Trump, because it was not Donald Trump that put Donald Trump in that office. 4 years before Donald Trump was ever known about running for office,
Trump had been talking about running for office since the 90s, and he really ramped it up in the mid-2000s.
Yahweh, the God of heaven, spoke through the mouth of a prophet and said that...
He's talking about Kim Clement. No, none of this happened. Kim Clement did not prophesy Trump was going to run for president or any of that. It's just made up.
And said that a man named Donald would be put into the White House, and that man Donald would be the servant of Yahweh to restore America. And guess what else that God said? That this man would serve 2 terms. So if you're losing faith in Donald Trump...
Well, I mean, that sounds like a false prophecy to me, not for nothing, right?
You're really losing faith in the God that put him in office. And that's a dangerous thing.
So anyway, yeah, he's tried to find some way to flip this around so that Donald Trump is the only good guy in this scenario, and he's making it possible for people to get vaccines if they want them. God, he's such a joke. Now, just a little more background on this guy, if you're unfamiliar with who he is. He is really racist. Like, I don't mean a little bit. I don't mean like he's contributing to a broader systemic whatever. No, he is racist as Listen to what he said about Ketanji Brown Jackson here. I covered this forever ago, and he noticed and responded to me. Listen.
See, the problem is Jumanji Jungle, Judge Jumanji Jungle lips. The problem with it is this, because what's coming out of her lips is...
He's talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson, the Black Supreme Court Justice, calling her Jumanji Jungle Lips Jackson. Holy fucking shit, bro. That is real fucking racist. Real racist.
Monkey sense. Not common sense. It's jungle monkey sense pouring out of your liberal lips, and you are a curse to this nation. You are a rodent in our republic.
What did she do? Like, why does he hate Ketanji Brown Jackson so much? Oh, I get it now. He's calling her Jumanji because her name's Ketanji, and Ketanji rhymes with Jumanji. And Jumanji was a movie about the jungle, right? Or something? Wait, what is Jumanji? Just want to make sure here. Yeah, Jumanji was a movie with Robin Williams, I believe. I saw it when I was really, really little. It was from 1995. And it was about a board game where people got sucked into a board or something, and they were in the jungle and had to... It's kind of like Indiana Jones through the jungle, something or other. So he's calling her Jumanji Brown Jackson, like Ketanji Brown Jackson, because it rhymes with Ketanji. Wow, bro. That is some dark shit.
Mindset is messed up.
Her mindset is messed up, you see. Ketanji Brown Jackson's mindset.
It is the enemy of the people. Disrobe yourself. Because
I don't do that. Look, give me a kiss first. Buy me dinner first. Something. Anyway, oh my God, bro. That is some disgusting, right? Like, that's straight up deep racism. Deep racism. Well, I called him out for that when it happened, and he felt compelled to respond. So this was, when did all this happen? I forget. Let's see. This is from mid-April 2024. Wow, is it really that recent? It is. Wow, mid-April 2024. I thought it was longer than that. Okay.
anyone that knows me personally knows there's not a racist bone in my body.
Totally.
But a lot of people don't know me personally, do they? So they go by what I say. And if you're just going by what I said that night, you have every right to be offended.
I'm not offended. I just think you're a piece of is all. Like, you didn't hurt my feelings. I don't think you probably hurt anybody's feelings. I just recognize you as a complete scumbag. If you want to be known as a scumbag, you nailed it.
Unacceptable. And I'm asking every one of you to forgive me if you can find it in your heart to do so.
See, this is what's interesting. You cannot be canceled unless it's your side doing the canceling, unless it's your fans doing it. Donald Trump can't be canceled because his fans are deplorable scumbags. The people who still support him all of these years later are the lowest of the low and will accept literally anything. Although not literally anything, I suppose. There are some things that they wouldn't accept. You know what it would take for Donald Trump to get canceled, for him to lose favor on the right? It would happen like that if he came out as trans or gay. He can move as far right as he wants. He could come out as a full-blown, self-avowed Nazi, and he wouldn't lose support. But if he moves a little bit left, it's over for him. Anyway, Shane Vaughn seems to have found that out the hard way. That I guess he still had some fans that were unaware that he was a complete piece of trash. They hadn't realized that yet, I guess. And he's apologizing to them now. But keep listening because it gets even more absurd.
And thank you for letting me learn from this experience. And I will learn.
Okay. I'll mark your words. We're going to take him down. He will learn, he says. Remember that.
From this experience, I will try to be more careful with my speech. And there's no excuse. I'm not going to try to excuse anything. But I do regret those words, and I will be much more careful in the future. I want to thank my haters on YouTube, Owen, Fireside Chat, others that we, I think they have a secret crush on me.
Totally. He nailed it. I absolutely do.
But I want to thank them for calling me out on that. I deserved it. I should have been called out on that. And I always listen to my enemies, because enemies many times will tell you what you need to hear. And so I appreciate them for calling me out. And again, I apologize. So I still think she's a dummy. I still think she talks monkey talk. I still think that she's ignorant, dumb, and should not be wearing a robe and should be living in the jungle as Judge Jumanji. Okay? But her physical appearance, off limits.
Wait a minute. Her physical appearance? What thing did he insult? about her physical appearance, I wasn't complaining about that. I was talking about the monkey talk stuff and the Jumanji, the jungle stuff, or whatever. What did he apologize for just now? I have no idea. The following week, remember he said he learned. Actually, this may not even be the following week. You know what? I grabbed this clip the following week. This may have been the exact same episode. I'm not sure. He's wearing the same shirt and the same glasses, the same outfit, everything. Is this the same episode?
Now, y'all got to watch this little, I got to watch my mouth here because when I can talk about anybody unless they black. Okay. Y'all got to watch.
Well, like, you can talk about black people too. You can talk about anybody. But when you call them monkeys, that's like a step over the line. Like, that's more than a step over the line. That is like that's a frolic over the line. That's like a bound.
Y'all got to watch this. Don't call it no jungle about it. Let's see.
Did you hear what he just said? Oh my God, bro. He says, I'm not racist. And he says, I apologize. I will do better. I recognize what I did wrong. And then he says that. Oh my God. Seemingly the same episode in which he apologized. What do you think you're apologizing for?
Watch this. Don't call it no jungle about it. Let's see. Y'all got to watch this. Let's go with the wig. How about that? Y'all watch this blonde wig head. Y'all got to watch this. Now, I can't talk about them like that because I get in trouble. Let me see.
He doesn't want to talk about them like that because he gets in trouble. Not because it's a scumbag thing to do, but because he doesn't want to get in trouble. Who is them in this scenario, Shane? Exactly. You talking about black people? Oh my God, dude. This is insane. He didn't learn. Anyway, I thought I'd give you a little bit of background on Shane Vaughn, who he is, what he believes, and his values. As a Christian man, show him the things that he really, or show you the things that he really cares about.
You can talk about anybody in the world. But anyway, they can talk about me all day long. They can call me, look, they can still frame my face where, you can do anything you want to a white man.
Okay, you can do anything you want to black people too. You can do that to black people. But when you start calling them slurs, I think that's a step over the line, right? A little bit. Does he not recognize how calling a black person a slur is different from framing him in a thumbnail like that? FYI, I don't do that, actually. I have never framed people in funny faces like that before. I think that's low, honestly. But, he's a victim in this scenario, literally calling her a slur on air, saying that he is the victim here.
Anything you want to, but you can't say nothing.
Jesus Christ, dude. You can't say nothing about black people. Colossal piece of shit right here. Sorry, man. I don't think it's a lack of self-awareness in this case. I think he's just a piece of shit. I think he is fully aware of that fact. Oh, we got a little visitor up here. Anyway, yeah, tell me what you think about it in the comments. This dude's just absurd. Just an absurd human being. That's all I've got for you. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, don't forget to check me out on Patreon. And take a look at my YouTube channels. Owen Morgan, where I talk about religious issues. Telltale Fireside Chat, where I talk about politics. Telltale Unfiltered, where I do long-form breakdowns of stuff like this, and take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they work together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants, and I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.